Hi, hello, and welcome to a new episode of Release. Episode 10 of Release. It's so exciting to say. But welcome. I'm your host, Adriana, and I'm so happy and honored and grateful that you've taken the time to listen to what I have to say. Today, I wanted to talk about loneliness, being alone, understanding loneliness, being able to appreciate the time that we have alone. Obviously, even if you aren't consciously or you haven't been consciously trying to spend time alone, COVID, or at least when we began lockdown, was a time that we all had to spend alone. It was forced, so that's not the kind of when I refer to loneliness, by the way, I know that it has a negative connotation, but that's not the way that I mean it. When I say loneliness, I'm just talking about being alone. There's no negative or positive connotation. I just mean neutral, being alone, devoid of company, in isolation. I'm just talking about it from, okay, we're alone. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, COVID kind of forced us into that place of solitude for a few months. And a lot of people felt as if they were going insane. I felt like I was going insane, just locked up in my room for months on end, unable to see anyone outside of my immediate family. And right now my life sort of mimics COVID in the sense that I'm just at home, just looking at the walls all the time. And again, I'm starting to feel that sense of I'm gonna go insane if I don't go out. And obviously I can socialize with people, which is great, but I've been taking that time to be by myself, to enjoy my own company. So I've been going on walks. I've been going to parks. I have been going on little picnics by myself. I think today, after I record this, I might go to the beach, bring a little picnic, relax. Obviously, or not obviously, but in my city, the beaches are definitely not beaching. Like, the water is, or at least the one that I'm planning to go to, is full of bacteria. It's fucking disgusting. I would never step foot in the water. But the vibe of the beach is always nice. I'm thinking of dressing up in like a little long skirt and a cute little beach bathing suit top and just going to chill, maybe take some pictures, whatever. The point is, I've been spending this time alone. And the more time that I spend with myself, the more I realize why it can be so hard for others to relish in the time that they have on their own. So first of all, I've already talked about the loneliness or the connotation attached to loneliness that society has given it. But one thing that I feel like we forget is that you're never lonely. Like, you're never alone. You can never experience loneliness unless the feeling or the company that you search for is outside of yourself. Right? You can never actually be lonely because you have yourself. And that sounds kind of corny, but I realize the reason why people run away from having time to themselves, or having time with themselves, or spending time with themselves, is because they don't know themselves. They're literally being forced to hang out with this stranger. And when that dawned on me, I found that really sad, because there are so many things that we could accomplish in terms of feeling fulfilled or not feeling lonely. The first step, the base step, before you can build on finding adequate company. Because, again, you can feel lonely in a room full of people. So finding or searching and saying, oh yeah, hanging out with people makes me less lonely, that's bullshit, and you know it. But anyway, it's just beginning to understand that makes me look at people and look at the world really differently. And I always talk about being honest with yourself on here. But in order for me to be able to spend time with myself, I had to be honest about the things that I actually enjoy doing. Just like your friends may really, really like going to the club, and you go to the club and you feel out of place because you're just going because you want to be with your friends, or you want to have a nice night out, or whatever the case may be. But when you are alone, you may think to yourself, oh, I actually don't like going to the club. I actually would rather just sit in my room and listen to music. But because you fear being called like a loner or whatever, you force yourself to go through these experiences over and over, hoping that one day they will fulfill you. That's literally the definition of insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, and expecting a different result. So, yeah, I found that really interesting. And then when I actually started to, be by myself, I mean, it sort of helped that, so at the beginning of the year, I definitely won't go into detail about this, but at the beginning of the year, there was an intense loneliness. I was already struggling with seasonal depression, other things happening in life, exams, school, work, personal life, whatever. And a specific situation that I was going through, I was unable to share it with anybody else. There was no one that I could explain the situation to that would be able to ease me of the immense pain that I was feeling. And the one person that was able to ease that pain refused to own up to the pain that they were causing me. And I went through that for months. And then as the sun started coming out, physically and for me, emotionally, finally I was starting to feel a little bit better. Situation was over in the physical. The energy of the pain still remains, but I realized when I started spending time with myself that I'm fucking cool as fuck. Like, once I started to do the things that I actually like, I like to read, and then I go down the list of all the things that I enjoy doing. And for the first time in a while, I'm starting to feel the beauty of all the things that I like to do. And I'm starting to appreciate myself. A lot of us take ourselves for granted. A lot of us, when we look at our bodies, we want to change. The first thing I know a lot of women struggle with body issues. Of course, men struggle with body issues, non-binary people. Everybody struggles with body issues. But we look at our bodies, and instead of saying, thank you for housing my organs, thank you for grounding me in this physical experience, it's, oh, I wish my hair was longer. I wish my teeth were straighter. I wish my eyes were lighter. I wish I was skinnier. I wish I was fatter. I wish I was like this. I wish I had done this. And you ridicule your body when we fail to realize that this is a person. Would you go up to your best friend or even a stranger on the street, not even someone you have a relationship with? Would you go up to a stranger on the street and tell them, yeah, your hair isn't long enough, your nose is too big, your feet are too big, you need to sort that out? You would never. I would hope you would never. But just goes to show how we are so horribly critical of ourselves. And a lot of us struggle with body-related issues, and that makes it even harder to develop a relationship with yourself. How can you develop a genuine relationship with yourself how can you develop a genuine relationship with someone that you hate? I remember telling that to someone, or at least thinking that when someone had been completely awful to me, and I said I could no longer be around them. And they're like, oh, but I want you to be my friend. And I told them, I was like, I cannot authentically love you as a friend. I cannot give you the proper friendship that you desire from me until I heal from these things, or until I can walk into a room and look at you and not feel that sense of pain. And sometimes we never we never fully get over it. Sometimes it hurts for a long time. Sometimes we're not supposed to have people in our lives after, because of how they've hurt us. But I had to come to terms with that, because I hate having to do things like that. But again, that's my own boundary issues. And again, when you dislike yourself and you don't know yourself, it's really hard for you to be able to set and stick by boundaries, because you don't actually value your own emotions. So how are you ever going to be able to tell others how to treat you if you don't even know how to treat you? And that's actually a really good segue, because the second thing that I realized with society and loneliness is it's not only the loneliness that we feel within ourselves, but it's the feeling that we need to be attached to somebody else. Normally, this is more in a romantic setting, but we feel as though in order to achieve happiness or to disintegrate that feeling of loneliness, we have to be in a relationship. And a lot of people are desperate for relationships, and it doesn't work out, and they feel as though the issue is, oh, I'm unlovable, or no one's ever gonna want to be with me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but that's kind of the vibe of it. And a lot of people, I feel like a lot of women, when we're really young, we're basically taught that we are beings being created for marriage. Or I'm thinking from a specifically female person with a uterus perspective, but men, of course, struggle with this in different capacities. But especially when you are Black or a person of color, you tend to, parents, whoever, the older, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, of course, but I find the older women in the societies, they say, oh, so you want a man, but you can't cook, you can't clean, and no man's ever gonna love you if you blah blah blah. That's just bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Because now your worth is being attached to someone that you've never met. Your worth is being attached to something outside of you, which is a fucking garbage mindset to have. But I digress. I realized, again, you feel as though your worth is attached to those things outside of you. So then when you're able to do all of those things and you feel like you still can't get a man, you're like, fuck, maybe I am unlovable. Maybe there is something wrong with me biologically, because I've been told by all these generations of women that I'm looking up to that this is how you do it, and I'm clearly not doing it right, so they can't all be wrong, whatever. But again, it's the same. It all comes back to relationship with self. It all comes, that is the ground, that's the base of understanding our loneliness. Because it was only when I began to appreciate myself and I began to say, well, actually, I am hot shit. Like, because I'm hot shit, and because I love myself, and because I value who I'm spending my energy with, or who I'm investing time into relationships with, I started attracting people who were worthy of that time. I'm not gonna let you tell me anything about myself. If I'm around you, then you must know that this relationship, platonic or romantic, but this relationship is worthy. If I'm around you, let's say that it's a romantic setting and I have romantic feelings for someone. If I have romantic feelings for you at this point in my life, you'll definitely know. I'm going to make it very clear to you, I don't waste my time with people that aren't worthy of my time. And if I'm moving a certain way with you, you must understand that if this isn't what you want, or what I want isn't what you want, shit can't work out. I'm very, very, very strict with the rules and the way that I allow people to treat me, because I don't treat myself like that. How the fuck, if I'm within my own skin and I don't treat myself like that, who the fuck do you think you are outside of me to treat me that way? You're fucking dumb as Sorry. A little bit, that's fine. I'm obviously very passionate about that because a lot of women let men treat them like shit. And the men themselves aren't even, like, I really hope you guys can hear me. I'm by my window. I'm gonna close the window. Okay, we're back. It seems as though every time I try to record is when everybody decides, yeah, we are gonna mow the lawn, we are gonna do the construction, I'm just gonna fuck up her recording. But anyway, the relationship that I have, anybody, basically, even somebody that I'm like, okay, I have romantic feelings for you. But until you prove to me that you are worthy of being called my partner, then you're not getting that status. You're not getting a glimpse into that life. Because until you step up to the plate that I've provided for you, until you step up to the standard that I have provided, because remember, you're the prize. Like, until you can approach me in the correct manner, you and I are not. There's nothing that's gonna happen between us because I'm just gonna be miserable. I found myself lowering my standards or avoiding things that I found important in relationships because I thought that my standards were too high. I thought that I was expecting too much when I realized that I was just expecting it from the wrong people. Okay, I had to move away from the noise, but I realized that I was expecting all of these specific things that were necessary to me from someone who wasn't even able to uphold the standard that I hold myself to. That will never work. And again, a lot of us seek that other person because we feel as though we're going to find completion outside of ourselves. If I have someone to watch my show with, if I have someone to go on a walk with, if I have someone to take pictures with, if everybody else is in a relationship, why not me? Why am I not chosen? That's kind of the mentality, that's kind of the thought pattern that I pick up when people talk about things like this. And it's always baffling to me because I'm not saying that I've never had those thoughts or I've never felt that way or I don't understand where they're coming from. But it's just, even in like social media, there's this painting of most people, 99.9999999% of people, including myself, I'm in that percentage, are only going to post the good parts of their life, post the good parts of their relationship, post themselves on a trip, post themselves living their best lives. Most people aren't going to post the painful moments in their lives because that's not what social media really, like, of course you can be vulnerable, of course, but the majority of what people do is post the happy things in their personal life. Mostly I'm talking about Instagram because Twitter is a whole different ballgame. But on Instagram, when you scroll, it's the pictures of all of the happier things in life. And it really makes me think. A lot of things make me think, but it really makes me think because there could be, hold on. Y'all, I just answered the phone. Why am I getting a call from scammers? Can y'all please leave me alone? Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Um, people on social media paint a certain picture. So now you living your regular life, you're like, okay, so in order for me to be like this girl or like this person, I have to I have to stay in this relationship because I have to post pictures with this person even if I can't stand them, even if they make me feel like shit. And something that happened to me recently opened my eyes to this. It's like some people thrive off of toxicity. A lot of people feel like it's a game. And then they're always arguing, they're always fighting. But this always arguing, always fighting is also an adrenaline boost. It rushes straight to your head, makes you feel a little bit for a second, but it's draining. And I just witnessed someone saying, oh yeah, but you don't know, but we're in a relationship. Okay. What do you consider a relationship? Because from where I'm standing and what I understand of your situation, this isn't a relationship. And it feels as though we, just like I said, that my partner has to have a certain caliber for me to be able to call them my partner. A lot of people have no standards for their relationships and they just want to be associated with this person because they love them so much. But the way that I view it, it's very, very simple. If, let's say that I'm attracted to somebody, we're not in a relationship, we're just attracted to each other, and they make it known that they don't want right now to be in any sort of partnership. And if that's what I desire, if I believe that they uphold the standard that I hold my partners to or hold my partner to, that's okay. You voiced your opinion, you voiced what you need, and you haven't provided what I need. So we can depart. A lot of people try, or a lot of, now it's summer, everyone's like, ooh, hot girl summer, and they find themselves in these friends with benefits situations with men that have already made it clear that they don't value them, and then they begin to develop feelings for this person, and they're like, but I don't want a relationship. But it was already clear from jump when they did that shitty thing to you, babe. So why are you still around? And please don't tell me that it's dick, because dick is everywhere. There was no connection. The connection is what is the important part of it. But again, I digress. My point is, if there is ever a man, a person I am attracted to, and they make it clear, yeah, I can't do this. If I was in the friends with benefits relationship, or a friends with benefits relationship, and that was the kind of conversation that we had, okay, cool. Now that you've made your intentions known, it's my job to move the way that I need to move. So I'm not about to call you and act like whatever. I'm not about to hang out with you. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting my energy on you because you don't value my energy. So I'm taking it away from you simply. Going back to my comment about the relationship, it's a word that people like to throw around. That's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, that's my partner, blah, 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 whatever. And it just, I guess it's like a boost of serotonin to say it to someone. Even though this person is making you cry every single day, you're still claiming them because it makes you look better to other people. It's so disheartening to know that a lot of women and men, I'm sure, but again, I can't talk from a male's perspective. A lot of women are in relationships that are very, very, very unsatisfying. And they're staying because of whatever reason they have. They're staying. And they believe that eventually things will get better. Eventually, this person will understand my worth and they'll fix up. Eventually, whatever. But as I look at or I think about a lot of black women that stay with men for 20, 30, 40 years, that man has never bought you flowers. That man has never rubbed your feet. That man hasn't said, I love you in 35 years. That, and you're here bending and breaking your back and doing everything and blah, blah, blah for them. And they can even tell you that they love you and tell you that they appreciate you. That couldn't work for me. I'm sorry, but if I'm giving you my energy and I love you, and this is how I show my energy. Again, people have different love languages. But if I am loving you and I've taken the time to show you how I love you, and maybe we have different love languages. Maybe my love language is acts of service and yours is quality time. And you may be saying I love you by watching a movie with me. And I may be saying I love you by cooking you food. But that movie to me is just a movie. And to you, that plate of food is just me feeding you. So you need to understand your partner's love language in order to love them correctly. Love languages are actually, yes, knowing your own is important because that's how you, you begin to understand yourself. That may be the way that you begin to love yourself. So like, let's say that your top love language is acts of service. Let's not use acts of service, actually. Let's use quality time. Let's say that your top love language is quality time. And when you're on this journey to learn to love yourself, you go on a walk. You go out by yourself. You're spending time with yourself. Or let's say your love language is words of affirmation. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say these affirmations to yourself. I love you. You are beautiful. You are worthy of love. You are deserving of love. You are love. Whatever affirmations you want to use. But that is understanding the base of learning how to love yourself. Now, that's also how you love others, but that's going to be your instinctive way to love others. But in order to love somebody correctly, you have to know their love languages because it may be different from the way that you express love. So not a lot of times, with my last partner, that was one of the first things that we did when we first started dating. We did a love language. There's a love language quiz online. We did a love language quiz. There's also one there's like singles, couples, and I think parents. But we did I think we did the singles one and the couples one to see like how we love and how we love in relationships, to kind of figure out like we had the same love languages, which is really funny. But obviously not all relationships are going to be like that. People are different. People express things differently. But that's just a really good tool to have in your pocket. Another thing I realized about relationships is that people say it, even though it seems to carry a lot of weight, people say it really lightly. It seems like saying I love you is carries a lot more weight than saying you're in a relationship. It's kind of like people in today's society are having kids younger and younger, and it seems that having a child carries a lot less weight than being married to somebody, which is really wild and really interesting to see. But that I literally just digressed. That has nothing to do with my point. But the view of seeing how things weigh differently is definitely going to impact how you kind of approach these sort of things, right? It's going to approach, or it's going to affect how you approach a relationship, right? Like if you feel like I feel like a lot of men, they think, oh yeah, the right one is gonna, when the right one comes, I'll start to be better. When the right one comes, I'll stop playing people, I'll stop cheating, I'll stop doing all this shit when the right one comes. But how will you be ready for the right one if you aren't able to pass the tests that the universe is giving to you? Why do you think the universe is going to reward you with this amazing person that you have been somewhere in your mind waiting to meet, if you can't even, because those other people that you are hurting and fucking up while waiting for the one, those are humans. Those are people with feelings. If it's simple. It's very fucking simple. If you don't see, for me at least, at this age, I'm still very young, obviously. I'm literally 22. I just turned 22 a few months ago. But for me, the way that I view dating is just the way that I view dating because of how I feel about my energy. If I say, oh yeah, you're my partner, blah, 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 I see some kind of future with you. It may not be a marriage, but I have to see some sustain something with you. You have to be a viable candidate for whatever I need in life at that moment. And you have to be able to understand that. I'm not gonna fuck with you if you are only like, yeah, I'm just trying to have friends with benefits. I'm just trying to, no. Nah. No, 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 no. Oh, we have to keep it on the low. The fuck we do? You can stay on the low by yourself. I'm not saying, oh, I want to be posted on stories, blah, blah, blah. I want everybody to know that we're together. No, I want you to know that we're together. You need to understand. Because the second that a man starts, or a partner starts to genuinely trigger you and genuinely basically violate how you view, even if it hasn't been a discussion, violate how you view the way that relationships or partnerships should go, it's a wrap. it's a wrap for me. I realized that even when I forced myself to overlook it, there's a sense of annoyance in the back of my head, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing until I literally could not stand them. I was like, I can't even be friends with you, bro. Like, I literally cannot stand you. But obviously, I'm very strict with the way that I am with my energy, because when people played with my energy, it left me in a lot of pain and a lot of stress. So that is something that I no longer do. But I think that's all I have for you guys this week. Episode 10. I think this is going to be the end of this season. And the next episode to come is going to be season 2, episode 1. Oh my God, guys, I'm so excited. But as usual, I love you guys. Stay safe. Wear sunscreen. Enjoy the sun. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode /season. Bye.